From the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report on Travers Day 2022. Alongside Seth Merrow, I'm Anthony Mormino, coming to you live on the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course. 13 race card. Little breezy and overcast this morning. Yesterday, when Naira was doing Talking Horses, you might have thought it was the Meadowlands at night. It was so dark in the background, and then the rains came off the turf. We had been so good for almost 30 days, and the last 2 days, what did we lose? About 11 races off the turf? 7, 8, 9. Late daily double yesterday, a couple of Wilson mile shoot races yesterday, but looks like it's nice right now, and we'll give it a go. Hopefully the turf will be labeled at least good. I don't know if they can get it to firm, as rock hard as the grounds have been throughout the summer with the great weather. We'll see, but it's Travers Day, a terrific Travers Stakes, a terrific card as per usual, and 2 walkout races, which I like.
And I'm looking at us in the monitor, and as you can see, overcast works for us. This is probably maybe the best picture we've had all year long, because with the sun out, it gets a little bit blown out behind us, but it's looking good this morning. And as you say, I walked through the paddock yesterday, and speaking of lights and lighting and television, the lights were blaring out of the Naira set because it was fairly dark-ish anyway in real life. And so, yeah, their set was kind of standing out as I walked through the paddock with their lights, and that then lent to the dark background for them yesterday. And I just made it into the facility before it opened up. And the forecast yesterday was kind of for intermittent showers, maybe heavy all afternoon. And we got hit with that big one before the card. And the rest of the afternoon was great yesterday. So, again, knock wood, it's supposed to clear out and be a really nice day today as well. So that's what we have our fingers crossed for.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the 20th anniversary of Medaglia d'Oro, winning on not only one of the rainiest day, one of the coldest days ever. I don't think it got out of the 50s that August day when he won in the slop, won by a pole, I think. But that was probably Willow Hour when I was a boy. That was horrible weather. Obviously, General Assembly setting the track record that stood for a long time, but looks like we're going to have a great day and about as good a card. And I was talking to Birdstone. Well, they canceled the next race.
Yeah, no, I remember.
And what's funny is if you watch that race, the Armageddon moment happened during the race. It wasn't god awful at the start, but it was awful at the finish. So what's that, 2 minutes? It came in about 2 minutes, so, and then canceled the last race.
Mary Lou Whitney happily accepting the trophy out there in the rain.
Birdstone, one of the most unique campaigns. Him and Sea Hero, one of the most unique campaigns. The races that people can, with Champagne, Derby, Travers for one of them, Champagne, Belmont, Travers for the other one, and not quite too many dances in between. They picked their spots as they were. Anything before we get to the DePaul play of the day?
Well, I will toss out top of the hour. First, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you marked it on your calendar for the early start. Because
well, if they didn't, they're not here.
There is the early start for the races, 11:35. So obviously keep that in mind. But top of the hour, normally we would be 10 o'clock with Racing Across America, but the Travers Day version should be fun. We're going to be joined by Jackie Davis, who got her first career victory up here, and it was a popular victory with a horse trained by her dad, local owners involved. As she came back to the winner's circle, there was much applause. It was fun, and so reached out to her because she's in town this weekend. She's bouncing back and forth. Has been for a while now between the Naira tracks downstate and Finger Lakes, but she's been doing it at Saratoga as well. But I reached out to her the other day knowing she was coming in, and so we'll have her on this morning. And then a little bit later on, Eric Reed, Rich Strike, the upset winner of the Derby, comes back in the Travers. He's working very well, so we'll have a little Eric Reed. And then there's a couple of tape pieces when John Velasquez won his 1,000th Saratoga race a couple of days ago. I caught the post-race interview in the winner's circle and got him walking back to the jocks room to much applause on the way back and stopping for selfies and autographs, and that was fun. And I also, a couple of days ago, caught up with Brad Cox in the paddock to talk a little bit about Cyberknife, so we'll drop those in at 9 o'clock, too, for Racing Across America. So that's coming up top of the hour, but plenty of action in the meantime as we look at the Lucky 13 today at Saratoga.
Now, if anybody should have a Kentucky Derby T-shirt, it's Eric Reed. If I was doing this show, I would have made, and he didn't, I would make sure I had one and been like, got one of these? He'd be like, yeah, I won the Kentucky Derby, wearing it Sunday. Go, which horse is yours? It's not on here. But trust me, I want it. Google it. Forget the T-shirt. So time for the DePaul Play of the Day.
When you think trucks, think DePaula.
Save this week. Drive Silverado, just $369 a month. Yes, $369 a month.
Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click. So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hello everybody, Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy here with your DePaula Play of the Day from beautiful Saratoga Race Course on King's Bishop Day. Alright, we know it's Travers Day, but our favorite race has always been the King's Bishop, now called the Allen Jerkins. And as you can see behind me, we're a fan of both the race and the horse Lost in the Fog, who happened to win the race several years ago. We've been giving you our Play of the Days on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the meet, and heading into yesterday's action, we had hit the board with 13 of our 16 selections to date, including 2 winners from our last 3 choices. As for today, we're going to make you wait until the 12th race, very late in the day, with the number 2, Feathers Road. This is a very consistent animal who has been a part of the Superfecta in 9 consecutive starts, often finding himself with a little bit too much to do late in the game. What we like about today is there appears to be plenty of speed signed on, enough so that a hot pace should develop, setting things up for this one late in the game. Furthermore, from 3 starts when breaking from the 1 or 2 slots, Feathers Road has completed the exacta in all 3 starts. So we like the slot, we like the pace setup, and we like this one's consistency. Additionally, we only see 1 other runner with a chance of beating this one. So once again, our DePaula Play of the Day from Saratoga Race Course, race number 12, number 2, Feathers Road. And we'll see you at the track.
When you think trucks, think DePaula.
Save this week and drive any new Chevy like Equinox with 0 down payment, 0 first payment, and 0 security.
Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click. So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Handicappers Report on this very special Travers Day, kicking off a little early, 11:35 post time. I was just thinking, Willow Hour might have been Eddie Maple's last Grade 1 win up here. I think he won the Alabama that year with Prismatical, but I think Willow Hour might have been his last Grade 1
you on that.
at the spot.
I knew Eddie Maple was on the horse, but I would have no clues.
Angel on Pleasant Colony, pouring rain, top of the stretch all the way through. Jimmy Picou and Willow Hour. 13 races today, ladies and gentlemen. 2 after the Travers Stakes. The opener, a race that we've sort of come to understand will be written on the card, which is a baby race. I don't know if we have an Uncle Mo in here. I think Uncle Mo is the high watermark for debut winners on Travers Day, I would say, for accomplishments down the road. Most of them, quite honestly, don't work out.
Good story about Uncle Mo, too, when we had Mike Rapoli in, so worth looking up.
Part of it didn't come out, but I know another part of the story that came out. He was so nervous he got a camera in Uncle Mo's stall all the time, and he would basically badger Todd Pletcher when anything would be going on with Uncle Mo. He tells the story himself. In the opener, the babies, maiden special weights, going 6 furlongs, kick us off.
As you alluded to, a race that may produce horses to watch going forward, and number 3 Verifying might be one of those. 3, 6, 7, and 1 Verifying by Justify so far this year. 19 first-time starters, 5 wins, 5 seconds. Those are pretty good numbers. Clearly, this horse looked pretty good at auction, attracting over $750,000. We had the America's Pastime folks in here a couple of days ago. They have stage left, and that one, a winner up here at Saratoga for the America's Pastime folks, but a winner in debut as well. So there's a little bit of precociousness on the bottom side, including, a little horse called Midnight Bijou, who also was pretty good to start her career. Second, and then 3 straight wins for her. So there is plenty of talent, top and bottom here. Brad Cox can have them ready. The workouts look pretty good. I'll put Verifying on top. King's Glory, there's a sibling called Dr. Door that won its career debut. Over $500,000 at auction for this one. Speightstown on top. Steve Asmussen trains. I would expect this one to be live. Chad Brown and Klarovich have a firster from Gun Runner that could be any kind. Game Warden attracted a lot of attention as well at auction. Now going out for Bill Mott. But I'll go with the sibling to Midnight Bijou, Verifying. I have a 3, 6, 7, and 1.
I saw Midnight Bijou win her Santa Ynez. The Rams played a playoff game on Saturday. I spent the weekend. Quiet day at Santa Ynez Park. There's Midnight Bijou with Mike Smith down the road, winning, going 7-8. Silver numbers. I'm thinking of the other trainers in here. How about Bill Mott having a tap it offspring for $400,000, not getting a whiff? But I'm 7-3-6. I took the Gun Runner for Chad Brown and Klarovich on the outside. Drop in the entry box here. You had to figure there'd probably be a couple other well-thought-of firsters, so I took the one on the outside. Verifying, you have to think that for nearly $800,000, they have a good runner in here debuting. And for third, I have King's Glory, who is the 9-5 favorite. Spicetown costs almost $600,000. I'm not going to do the math here, Seth, but what do we got to be looking about? Maybe $3 million worth of yearling purchases in this race. 7-3-6 kicks us off.
In the second race, we are looking at maiden special 2-year-old scheduled to go a 1 16th on the grass. And I'm kind of looking here to see if there's any news as far as the turf. So I'll let you go and
you would think
that search.
You would think they're going to hold the stakes races as best they can, and this would be one that maybe they would less hold, but we'll go forward. Field of 9 in the main body. The 10 is the MTO. 7-1-9 for me. And America's Guess makes a second career start on debut at Saratoga.
Just a heads up, this one is the lone race off the turf.
Yeah, that would have been a guess in here. Then you'd have to be thinking, remember, 2-year-olds. I'm thinking the 2-year-olds still shorten up to 7/8. They're not going to have them run a mile, so they're going to shorten up to 7/8. I would bet a Pepsi on that. And as I've said to the people I work for years, I'm like, if they're staying in with the trainers, as the late double, by the way, with 2 turf horses that I had that stayed in the off the turfers, I'm taking America's Guess, going 7/8, the offspring of Candy Ride. If Danny Gargan wants him to run, I'm with it. For second, part of the entry. The entry is on the toward the outside, next to each other. Fire Baron, and if I was guessing, how about the race that pared down to 3 yesterday? That was the race we were talking about. Who would you bet was staying in? Well, apparently nobody. If to speak of.
Very few.
Yeah. And then number 9, the Count. I'm thinking maybe they stay in here. If I was guessing who was staying in, I mean, I don't know, the 1, the 2. The 2, I think the 2 would love this. The 3 would love this spot. I would think the 6 is staying in. So we got a handicap who's staying in. I think Fire Baron might be one coming out, but I'm telling you, I'm staying in if I'm America's Guess. 7-1-9 in the second.
I didn't change things up at all, turf to dirt, when I put my selections out. I put the main track only at the bottom of my selections for the dirt side of things. But I have a 5, 8, 7, 9 and the 1 entry. Triple start by American Pharaoh. There's a sibling called Persistently that was 3rd in debut and then won the 2nd start. But as you see, the Churchill workouts, the August 6th workout, it's pretty good on the main track. So if this one stays in, I will continue to be on board. Take Me to Jimmy goes out for Chad Brown and company. Sibling called Tammy the Torpedo won its career debut. More Respect, another sibling, 5th and 1. Seek and Destroy, yet another sibling, 4th and 6th, and rattled off 3 straight wins. So I thought there was plenty of win early there. And another one who was working on the main track. And then in the 3rd spot, America's Guest, the Danny Gargan runner who debuted going long on the turf. But we'll see if that one stays in. Yeah, I have no problem there also. So for me, 5, 8, 7, and 9.
On to the 3rd, State Breds, entry-level allowance going 7/8.
1, 6, 9, and 2 on the hill on top. Showed some nice positional early speed last time and then drew off to win a starter allowance, an open starter allowance. Now, with 2 wins under the belt, gets into this non-winners of one other than as a New York bred non-winners of one other than. So I think off of that win last time is situated very nicely in here. I'm not thrilled about the inside post position, but we'll see with that early speed. You would think it's a good spot. Majority partner to the number 6 horse goes out for Linda Rice off a nice win. A much improved effort. But you have to look at the resume and think, was that a much improved effort with the class drop last time? I mean, and obviously the betting public was giving some juice to that class drop because the horse went off as the 8-5 favorite. So may have just wound up being best in that field on class. Now moving into the non-winners of one for State Breds, the class is a little bit stiffer, you would think. But boy, that last race just maybe was a light bulb kind of a moment, and this horse will fit today. And in the 3rd spot, I went out to Great Workout, Irad Ortiz on board a horse who 2-back ran very well. Last time, not so much. Was it the 1 1/8? Was it a sloppy track? I'm drawing a line through and hope we get a better effort today, closer to what we saw 2-back. But again, given what we saw last time, a little bit dicey. But I have it 1, 6, 9, and 2.
1, 7, 2. I think On the Hill goes from the inside with Luis Saez trying to make it 2 in a row. And, these starter allowance races on balance, I think it's nice to drop into entry-level New York bred off of that good victory. Goes 7/8 today. I think, as you said, you could be worried down inside how the track looks at 12:44, and maybe inside will be heavy. I don't know, but I think we're going from the inside, and I entrust in Luis Saez to figure it out. Christophe Clement sends out the 7, 2 races off of breaking the maiden. First time versus winners, a mile 16 didn't go so well, but having a Fleet Alex as the broodmare sire, if you remember, he won. I think there was the year they ran the Hopeful on Alabama Stakes Day, and it was a sea of slop. 05 I'm thinking, and that was the year that we ran one fewer baby stakes race, and they changed up the calendar. Then Bold Journey for 3rd, but 1, 7, 2. Also want to point out on the 1, you have Langfuhr on the broodmare sire there, and he doesn't come up very often anymore in pedigree analysis, but I got to think that's got to help with the moisture.
Speaking of pedigree and sire side, should mention More Than Ready passed away. Complications contributing to old age. So
absolutely. I mean, he I'm guessing
26 or 27.
Well, he was 1997, so 25 years old. And I said very few stallions at the 20th, around the 20th year of being a stallion, even the prodigious ones, Mr. Prospector, Seattle Slew, you fall off the map, but not More Than Ready. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Birdstone is an outside threat. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges.
Having trouble finding us? It's actually quite simple. Whether online or on your TV, it's never been easier to watch and wager on championship horse racing with Capital OTB. Simply log on to capitalotbbet.com. There you can watch our morning shows, live stream races, and wager on our state-of-the-art wagering platform. You can also watch from the comfort of your home on Spectrum Cable Channel 1250 or Fios Channel 467, and win more with Capital OTB.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report, early Travers edition, live from Saratoga. Seth, Merrow, and Anthony Mormino. And after the first break means it's time for the dark horse play of the day. We went into the black. Now, with Perfect Money's getting it done for us as the dark horse play at $19 yesterday. So far, I'm perfectly happy with the results so far. With 3 scratches after 31 days, that means we've had 28 plays, 5 winners, 3 seconds, 3 thirds. So 5 winners out of 28 for taking your shot, I think was okay, and I'm happy with that. 11 in the money finishes, but our total currently with win, place, and show, a couple of bucks on a win, place, and show, $233 and change. And again, we'll max out at 37 plays with the 3 scratches if we have no more scratches, and so we have the $2 win, place, and show on all those 222. So we are in the black at this point, and should be a lot of fun, as I say, kind of coasting and taking some more swings over the next 8 days.
Favorite line in the sport: you beat the meat.
That's what it's all about.
It isn't even Travers Day. You got 8 cards left. Talk about free swings.
Yeah, exactly. So again, the Dark Horse Play today brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile, and they've been making a win, place, and show bet right along, and proceeds will go to the Thoroughbred Retirement Fund, so that should be fun. Also, Dark Horse Play of the day, the smart bet is always the Dark Horse, and don't forget, stop down and make a visit. I've run into some people, one of them, but over the past few days who have swung by the Dark Horse and enjoyed their visit, so stop by and make your own visit as well. And then down the street, there are other store, Impressions of Saratoga, worth a visit as well. Today, I will admit, I looked at the card. I had trouble finding something really clever up in my mix. So I have one that's a little down we already talked about the second race. And I said 5, 8, 7, and 9. I'm going to make the 9 my dark horse play of the day. And I think it's a horse that has the potential to upset. In a race with some interesting runners in here. And again, this is an off-the-turfer, so that's also a little bit dicey. Will this horse stay in, I suppose, is a question mark. But they did debut on the dirt, 5.5 down at Parks. And to me, it'll be maybe a positive if they stay in the race. But number 9, The Count, is my dark horse play of the day, the number 9 horse. Peace and Justice, Pennsylvania bred. There was a Peace and Justice winner up here at a price just with a couple of days ago. But this one went off at 4-5 in the debut. Didn't show much that day, but with that one under the belt, there's a couple of bullet workouts on the dirt going back to the 8th of August, the 16th of July. Again, they wanted to stretch out on the turf today, so we'll see. But if they stick in, and I'm not going to be shocked if they do, I think this one might be a little bit interesting. It may be a little bit of a price given what we saw in the debut effort, but I think there's the potential there for some improvement with the experience under the belt, and maybe a little bit of a price that'll make this one kind of fun. So today's dark horse play of the day, race number 2, horse number 9, The Count, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile, 445 Broadway, downtown Saratoga Springs. All right, race number 4 at Saratoga on Saturday afternoon. We kick off stakes action with the Grade 2 Ballston Spa, $400,000 up for grabs, scheduled on the grass at 1.16 miles.
And I would think that there'll be some give in the turf course. 5-4-3, technical analysis. Even money on the board, has won twice on the other turf course last year. Was runner-up in the recently run Grade 1 Diana. Jose Ortiz, the regular rider on the outside, has the mount. Technical analysis. The offspring of Kingman going 8.5 furlongs. My top pick. Fluffy Socks right next door. In the starting gate, exits a second place finish in the Matchmaker. Ran last year in the Lake George. Finished runner-up to technical analysis in the Lone Spa Run. And for third, our Flash Drive going out for Mark Cassie. Won the De La Rose, which was one of those restricted stakes races we were talking about earlier in the meet, that most of them came up very, very tough. I thought the Risk Averse was the one that, wasn't, but that's understood as a 3-year-old race. But 5-4-3 in the Boston Spa.
I'm right there, 5-4-2. Technical analysis on top. Tried the Grade 1 Diana last time. Ran a nice second there. Won down at Pimlico in the race before that. So I think comes in good form this season. Has the potential to maybe take them all the way, having shown early speed in many of her races. Fluffy Socks, close up second last time to La Mista in the Matchmaker. La Mista I have down in the 3rd spot, and off that win in the Matchmaker in a very nice effort. Also deserves consideration, but I just gave Fluffy Socks a little bit of an edge. Irod Ortiz on board, that attracted attention, as well as moving that one into the 2nd slot. For me, in the Boston Spa, 5-4-2.
Grade 1 up next, 7 furlongs to 4 go.
I have a 3, 5, 6, and 4. It's Jackie's Warrior. This is a race where maybe you don't go up to the window too much. You just sit there and enjoy as a fan. Another one of the arsenal of sprinters over the last few years that Steve Asmussen has sent out. And boy, I mean, this 4-year-old season has just been very impressive so far. Debuted down at Oaklawn in the Count Fleet, which is always a nice early season sprint race, and scored there the lone double-digit buyer of the season. Moves up to Churchill, tosses in a 105 with a big win. The True North, a 107, a nice win, and another 105 in the Vanderbilt last time right up here. Again, this is just a really, really special horse. Stretches out to the 7 furlongs here, but that Churchill race, the second of this season, was at 7 furlongs and has run well at 7 furlongs in the past. That's not going to be an obstacle. This horse, very, very tough. Now, if you do think, I'm going to take a little pop in the horizontals, you get past Jackie's Warrior, I think you can expect an inflated payoff. And Cody's Wish is maybe a little bit interesting off the last couple. Nice win in the Westchester down at Belmont, and then squeaked one out in a stake at Churchill last time on Independence Day. But those were both triple-digit buyers, and so that may be a horse worth taking a look at if you want an alternative and pipeline. On the triple-digit buyer two-back to start the season, the follow-up in the Monmouth Cup was maybe a little bit disappointing, but ran behind Highly Motivated, a nice horse. 3rd start of the year now, pipeline also intriguing. And Baby Yoda, I couldn't quite pull the trigger
Apparently
there. But
not.
At
that 114 going 6.5, it didn't.
3 for 3 at the track, and with the 114 going back to last year, we'll see that Baby Yoda. But I have it 3, 5, 6, and 4.
I haven't had the success I've been seeking on these one-punch exactas, but for me, it's Jackie's Warrior over Knee Deep in Snow, the 7, and I'll tell you, if I was a horizontal player, I would have Knee Deep in Snow, who's 15-1 on the board in there, and I have Baby Yoda, who last year going 6.5 ran a hole in the wind, but the race clearly goes through probably the 2-time defending Sprint Eclipse Award winner, Jackie's Warrior, who I said the other day, I think if the math is right, could win $1 million sprinting just at Saratoga.
6th race at Saratoga this afternoon. Starter allowance at the $50,000 level. The trip is 7 furlongs.
4-2-7 as the horizontals try and get through, I think, a much tougher leg. But Jet Speed is my top pick. 2nd time versus winners. Now, this horse broke the maiden for a tag. Tried this level. I thought raced well at Monmouth from an inside post. Now draws the middle for 2nd. Number 2, Life Changer. John Terranova's runner. Won a 2L going 7/8 in early May at Belmont. And number 7, Swift Tap. 2nd off the $50,000 claim for Rob Atras. 4-2-7.
5-2-7 for me. 5-2-7 and 8. Baltazar on top. Nice win to break the maiden 3-back. And now has had a couple of tries at this level. The first off the maiden breaker was a really good try down at Belmont. The follow-up last time up here, a little bit disappointing, I would say. But I think gets back to the 7 furlongs of the maiden breaker, and now with a couple of starts at this level under the belt, this horse could be intriguing at maybe a little bit of value. 4-1 on the morning line. This is one I could see moving a point or two in either direction. Life Changer actually finished in front of my top pick last time, and I talk about it quite a bit. Sometimes we get too clever and try to switch things up. We'll see, but I think Life Changer is in very good form right now, and off that second up here at Saratoga last time, deserves respect. And Swift Tap in the third spot also ran well on the move up to Saratoga last time, off the claim for Rob Atras. And I may have moved this horse into the top or the second spot, except the claim 2 back and then the nice effort last time, both at that 50,000 claiming level. This might be a little bit of a saltier group, and so have it in the mix, however. In the 6th, 5, 2, 7, and 8.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the mandatory payout pick 5 legs.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
Hello everyone, I'm Scott Vartley, and I'm here at the West Condominiums in Saratoga Springs. And guess what? We are down to the home stretch. Everything is 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. Come make a selection of one of the greatest condos ever to be built in Saratoga Springs. We're starting in the upper 5s, and the only rooftop penthouse available now under construction. Wow, just look at this patio. We have a rooftop pool, heated garage, balconies, and a gym. Call me at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, up to race number 7. Optional claimers in for 62, non-winners at 2, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
And again, via all the appropriate channels, the only race that's off the turf today is race number 2. So make those changes to your handicapping, or that change to your handicapping. Race number 2 is off. The remainder on, including this 7th race. I have it the 1 entry, 2, 4, and 5, Comedy Town and Old Chestnut. On the recent form, Comedy Town is probably the preferred runner in here. Has been facing this type over the past couple of starts and had a nice series of improved efforts over the past 3, including at this level in the last 2 and last time. So moved up to Saratoga, ran very well last time. I'm going to, as I say, give that one the edge. Old Chestnut has some back numbers, though, that put that one right into the mix. So both halves to me are a little bit live and playable. Second spot, Maxwell Esquire. Claimed at this level 2 back and ran decently down at Belmont, and then they got a little ambitious and stretched out and moved up a little bit last time here at Saratoga. I think with the cutback and the move back down to what seems to be the comfort zone, Maxwell Esquire is live and noble emotion in the third spot. Came up to Saratoga and, again, went backwards a little bit last time at this level. But, boy, the races just prior seem good enough. Now, some of those are going back to last year, but some of those are going back to last year here at Saratoga. So, again, I'm going to look for maybe this horse to first start of the season, ran okay and maybe needed the second start to be primed for a third start today. I'll look for Noble Emotion to bounce back. I have it to 1 entry, 2, 4, and 5.
Inwardly, inside here, but Noble Emotion is my top pick. Ratio to pass, having a very nice meet. This runner's making the 3rd start of the year. I like that. I think in prime position to fire the best shot of the year, which will be necessary in this 7th race. For second, Maxwell Esquire, a $62,000 claim at this level for Mike Maker, as Seth mentioned, shortens back up to a sprint. And Discreet Tune, I think, is a major player in here with Irad Ortiz, shipping up from a well-beaten effort down at Colonial. 4-2-3.
Race number 8 on Saturday, Travers Day at Saratoga. It is the H. Allen Jerkins Grade 1 event. $500,000 up for grabs in what has become an interesting subdivision of 3-year-old sprinters, going 7 furlongs.
638. I think I was thinking of Forestry when Jack Christopher ran in the Haskell, and they ran well there, Forestry, but Bob Baffert shortened up to 7/8 and ran a brilliant race in the old King's Bishop. And I think Jack Christopher 6-5 on the morning line. I think you'd be very fortuitous to get this back to one turn, back to Saratoga. The race for me definitely goes through number 6, Jack Christopher. For second, Howling Time, going out for Dale Romans, who's only run a couple horses at this meet. A good effort in the Matt Wynn, losing to Cyber Knight, and then tried the Haskell, another horse shortening back up to sprinting. And for third, the Saratoga Lover, number 8, Gunite, for Steve Asmussen. Sharp victory in the Amsterdam, 6-3-8.
6, 8, 9, and 1 for me. I put Jack Christopher on top. We'll look for him to rebound. Started the career with plenty of promise. And then, I didn't think the Haskell was a bad race, but now they cut back, and I think is going to be well suited by the situation this afternoon to get a rebound effort and get back into the winner's circle. But Gunite off the Amsterdam victory, and Accretive off the close-up second, and only the second career start in the Amsterdam. They're both interesting coming out of that grade 2 earlier in the meet here. Going to be interested to see what both of those do this afternoon. But as I say, Jack Christopher, given what we saw earlier in the career, probably has the edge. But off of that Amsterdam, both of those are playable. Conager, the number 1 horse, I think also very speedy. And I think if you're looking for an alternative in here, you could do worse than going in that direction as well. Intriguing addition of the Jerkins. And again, always appreciate that they do honor Alan Jerkins with a race like this at Grade 1, because one of the great guys of New York horse racing, certainly the chief. But I have it 6, 8, 9, and 1.
And kicking off the late pick 5, the 9th race, Grade 1, Personal Ensign.
Pick 5 in race 9? How could it be?
Couldn't be. It was supposed to be leaving, right?
The 9th today for me is 3, 5, and 1. If you watch enough, you've seen me talk. I've just liked Clariere really throughout her career. And I thought she looked good last time in the Shoe V. Kind of validated my affection for her, and has done so throughout this season, really, with 3 wins and a second. The second, however, was behind Latruska in the Apple Blossom. She'll have to get back to that, because the Phipps was a little bit of a head scratcher. And I think, the defending champion stands a chance of maybe, in a 5-horse field, it's hard to get overlooked, but maybe we'll sit behind my top 2 odds-wise. And again, I it's hard to make a big decision on one race, one way or the other. So I think Latruska is very live in here, but I think a lot of people are going to look at that last one and maybe shift her down to the 3rd spot. I've done it. I put her in the 3rd spot. But again, I'm just kind of trying to hint that she's going to be a lot of fun to watch in here, and may try to steal it on the front end, although she may have to, vie with search results. We'll see. In between those two, I have Malathot. And again, we had Todd on the other day talking a little bit about Malathot. And he said right after the race, and he reiterated again a couple days ago, that was a very hot and humid day here, Shoe V. And he said, she looked a little lethargic in the paddock and didn't feel she was herself. Still ran an okay second. We'll see what she can do today in the Personal Ensign, 3, 5, and 1.
Just keeping blinkers on Malathot. 2, 3, 1 for me. Search results. I could have looked at this race for hours and hours, and I'm hoping to receive a little bit better than 7-2, because I think that this against Clariere and Malathot, Latruska, search results for me is a little bit of a reach. I like her in here, but I was thinking maybe along the lines of about 5 or 6-1. Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought the other 3 were going to be bet much stronger. Clariere, who seems to be a better filly than she was last year, is the horse to beat off her effort in the Shoe V. And Latruska, with the moisture in the racetrack that I presume, and the front end speed, I have her holding on for 3rd. But search results for me, 2, 3, 1. We'll take our final break. When we come back, the final pick 4 kicks off.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. You'll get live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform, and best of all, you get track prices. CapitalOTBBet.com. Bet any place, anytime at CapitalOTBBet.com. And be sure to download our new mobile app from the iTunes Store or Google Play.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have a better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. It is Travers Day. That means a lot of great stakes action, and that is amplified. Is that, did I just make up that word? Amplified. That is
I don't know where
demonstrated by, I'll just change up completely. Another Grade 1 event on the card, the Sword Dancer. $750,000, a mile and a half on the grass.
I mean, a couple years ago we had the Bowling Green, and my line was, if you let me take half the field, I wouldn't take even money that I could get it right. And unbelievably, somehow we got it exactly right on the front end. But what a great race. I mean, I don't know how the horizontals do it. I don't know how, if you're playing the pick four, you start the leg with this. I can't believe we fell on the same horse. After that, we're kind of more similar than I thought. I actually think that who wouldn't I like in here? I can't tell you. I mean, even on the outside, using the Forbidden Apple as a prep, but I'm 193. Seth is also on the one. Chad Brown has 3. I took the one that hopefully we'll be able to save ground on at least 2 turns, starting from the inside post position with Flavian Prat in the saddle. Tries to back up the UN, which is a 1 3/8 over at Monmouth Park. As I said, I'm suspecting it will be some give in the ground, but it's United States some give, not European. For a second, I'm way other side, Channel Maker. They won't ever rename this the Channel Maker Invitational, but how many dances has this guy had in New York for us through the years? The 8-year-old recently won the Grand Couture, which I think was rescheduled. That wasn't the day. They didn't get enough entries in it. And if you remember, that horse won this race back-to-back years. And then for third, number 3, Broom. Aiden O'Brien's runner comes out of what I think one of the great races in the world, the King George. But what I thought, Seth, was Del Mar's turf course reminds me of the inner here. So ran second in the Breeders' Cup last year with Ryan Moore in the saddle. If you made me wipe out these 3, I could happily pick up 3 others.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. This race is emblematic of the day.
That's a word.
I had to look it up while you were talking.
That's fine. You're on center stage.
Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay, that's the word. 1735 with the 6 also. Gufo, I think, is very, as you kind of alluded to.
Rock Emperor, I'm like, just throw him out there.
But had Saul Kuman on earlier before the United Nations. We talked a little bit about Adamo, and he said coming into that race, he thought the horse was going to run well, and did. And coming out of that, I tilted in that direction. Trabuvin in the second spot. Lots of early speed. Speed is dangerous at this 1.5 miles. May try to take them all the way around. Couldn't quite do it in the United Nations, but wouldn't be shocked to see this one kind of float along and maybe get it done. And then Broom coming out of a Group 1 over in Europe, 2 starts back, won a group race in Europe. You got to count that as being important. So I have 1, 7, 3, and 5, but I agree with you. Very competitive edition. Oh, the sword dancer.
And see, I thought this was a the Travers at 1.25 miles, Grade 1, been running it since the Civil War, was a head scratcher, but apparently not. Everybody seems to love the Jim Dandy winner. When I say everybody, I mean like 75% of the people. I thought the race was more wide open than that. And I was saying earlier, I think Rich Strike reminds me of the 40th anniversary of Gatto del Sol, a Derby winner coming in that nobody really has any affinity at 1.25 miles once again. So take it away.
6, 1, 8, and 7 for me. Artorias is a little bit interesting. As well, lightly raced and coming out of the win in the Curlin. But yeah, I just think, despite the second place finishes, Derby and Preakness, I think still Epicenter was kind of felt to be, this is the 3-year-old. And then he validated that in the Jim Dandy, that he was as good as people thought. And with that one under the belt now and moving forward, I put Epicenter on top. Cyberknife, however, a couple of nice Grade 1s under the belt, including the Arkansas Derby and the Haskell. And that Haskell win, triple-digit buyer, and impressive certainly. And so I think Cyberknife becomes very interesting and playable in here, as well as a horse that, with a victory here, becomes very viable in the 3-year-old conversation. And then Zandon in the 3rd spot off the 2nd place finish in the Jim Dandy with the first triple-digit buyer of the career. I think this horse is interesting. Early voting. At 8-1 on the morning line, I'm going to be interested to see where the betting public goes. It's the Preakness winner, who, yes, disappointed in the Jim Dandy. But again, I'll go back to, I don't want to make a serious move one way or the other on one race. And so the Chad says, let's go back in the Travers. Boy, you get a little bit of a price on early voting. That one's intriguing also. 6, 1, 8, and 7.
My one thought, one of the race flow thoughts I have is, could somebody drag us through like 47? Like, I don't want to see it turn into... My view of the Jim Dandy was it was turned into a kicker's race, and that's not a game. I liked early voting that day. And I'd like to see maybe somebody go 47 and just drag this through this field, especially if the racetrack is playing even. I just would like to see somebody get on it, the pace, and maybe spread these out, and how the racetrack is playing, whether speed is good or mediocre or it's completely a level playing field. I don't know, but I don't want to see a race run like the Jim Dandy, where 5 or 6 of them are, somewhat close and just ready to pounce, as it were. But I'll take the other gun runner, Cyberknife, from the rail. I have to tell you that Seth, from the half-mile pole in the Jim Dandy, he looked like a winner to me. About the only thing that could have stopped him was traffic. And with Flower Alley on the bottom side, if you remember Flower Alley...
In the Haskell, you said it.
In the Haskell, yep, in the Haskell. Flower Alley, if you remember, was Todd Pletcher's, I think, first Jim Dandy winner that won the Travers, but that was also the first year that they spread them out. I think that was the first year they made it 4 weeks. And I think Cyberknife... the 1.25 miles, we're going to be fine. As often can be the case with runners when you look at their careers, I'm throwing out the Kentucky Derby. It's just a unique race with the number of runners. And I think Cyberknife is geared here for this 10 furlongs. He's on the inside. I have to tell you, Seth, I thought it was the horse to beat, but apparently it's a very small boat that felt that way. Epicenter, how do you think he's going to run? Is it going to be the fairgrounds type runner or the newfound Epicenter? I don't know. But
it depends.
I want this race run completely differently from the Jim Dandy, so I don't want the same results. But he's a terrific racehorse. And if you remember, not this time, he won in the slop that race down when that September meet for 2-year-olds, won like a pole. And then Arturius, who I thought was a solid winner in the Curlin. This is a deep race for the Curlin winner to step into. I don't have Zandon in here, who I think is a player. I I didn't know where that race performance in the Jim Dandy came from, that he was up and on the pace, and actually said, he's the barometer I used that. What's he doing up there that close? It must be slow. So 1:06.5 in a terrific handicapping exercise.
Going off at about 5:45 this evening, but after that you'll still have a couple of shots to get back if you need that, or a couple of shots to add more if you're having a great day. The 12th race will kick off that late double. State Bred Maiden Specials going 5.5 on the grass.
And it will get lost for all the right reasons, but my thought of the day is in this race. 946. Steerage, whose most recent effort, if it was a trip note, would be longer than the Lincoln Conspiracy, finishing third, claimed for $40,000 for Bruce Brown, and you get Joel Rosario. 6-1 would be very positive. For second, Empire Sky makes the third career start off back-to-back thirds, and then 6 for Phil Serpy. 946 Steerage, one of my favorite horses of the day, filled with Grade 1 races.
4, 7, 6, and 2 for me. I did put Empire Sky on top. I thought the 2 races down at Monmouth were pretty good, and a couple of races to maybe build on and move forward from. And maybe that happens in the third start of the career and the move up to Saratoga to face State Breds in here. So I'm going to look for that one to, again, appreciate the whole scenario this afternoon. Second slot, Hey Mac, it's Jack. Comes in off a good try last time here at Saratoga. And that number and the near miss and Irad Ortiz on board might make me regret this. Hey Mac, it's Jack probably winds up being the one to beat. And the number 6 horse, Fuco, taking a shot with another one, third start of the season, and maybe is primed for a good effort with that scenario today. So for me, in the 12, 4, 7, 6, and 2.
And wrapping up, Fillies and Mares, entry-level allowance, a mile on the inner.
2, 4, 1, and 9. The number 8, I think, is also very playable in here, but I put Invincible Gal on top. Seasonal debut was okay. Seems like one to build on, so we'll use Invincible Gal in the top spot for Chad and company. Second slot, Wicked Groove. Third start off, a little bit of a February to June layoff, and I thought the last couple of starts were pretty good. And as I say, now with the third start back from the layoff, maybe we get an even better effort. And then Parnack going out for our friends at West Point. The U.S. debut was pretty good. Got that one under the belt and maybe moves forward with that experience. Now the second start of the season. I have it 2, 4, 1, and 9.
1, 9, 6 for me as we wide open race, as you can see, and Christophe Clement sends out the 1 for the 4th career start, second time in the United States. Joel Rosario back in the saddle, going the full 2-turn mile from the inside. Other side of the starting gate in the main body is number 9. Bill Mott's runner makes the third start since April. Been stuck at this level, but improved greatly on the July 8th most recent effort. And for third, number 6, Chad's Brown winner, second start after breaking the maiden in late January at Tampa. Returns to the races for the first time. 1, 9, 6 in the finale. And I was thinking, we have just a moment, but what happens if Jack Christopher wins today in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, if he were to go there?
I thought I read that would not be the game plan.
They're shutting it down after this, or
I don't think they were necessarily aiming for the sprint.
I'm
not positive.
Oh.
I thought I read that.
Great day of racing today. I mean, you get Jackie's. I mean, it's amazing that the Travers is on top of all that precedes it. And if you haven't looked yet, I'm just glad they didn't run the ballerina today, because that was. I'll talk about it more tomorrow. Makes handicapping the Breeders' Cup races look easy, tomorrow's ballerina, when you get to that. But remember, post time is 11:35. 13 races on the card. It seems like it's going to be okay. It's not going to be hot, hazy, and humid, it looks like. Hopefully it will be dry. Hopefully the track will dry out a little bit more. But
once again, race 2 is off the turf, but the only one off the turf.
Yeah,
today.
the babies, which is kind of always been the way they've gone through the years. I was kind of surprised the turf sprint stood up, because that can put a lot of energy into the turf course. Maybe we'll go a long way to having the 3-year-old colt division clarified or muddied more.
That's right.
The
it's been
older
a year where it hasn't clarified at all.
Older fillier mares, a heck of a group this year. Will throw down once again, and you know, just a great day. And you can see maybe a horse win $1 million sprinting at Saratoga. Who'd have thunk it? Up next, John De Silva's Del Mar Play of the Day.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Bet.